to a man, a human one.
Wanda.
WandaVision is here, and just as we expected, it is nothing like anything we've seen in the MCU. It's not enough that Vision, who is played by Paul Bettany, is back from the dead, or the synthezoid grave he was sent to in Avengers Infinity War. The series is also a complete sitcom, complete with comedy and satire. It explores a world where our favorite sitcoms are mimicked, with Vision and Wanda married, playing house in the suburbs. While this appears to be a fun series, with Wanda and Vision enjoying their new life in their peaceful surroundings, something just does not seem right. With just 2 episodes on Disney+, the series will explore the new life of the couple and how they arrived there after the events of Endgame. Since both episodes premiered on the 15th of January, several Easter eggs have been missed. But in this video, we will list all the Easter eggs our eyes have picked out, and how they tie the show back to the MCU, Marvel Comics, and clues about what exactly is going on. But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We are giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice, so be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter this giveaway. It's really that simple. The tie worn by Vision. In the first episode, we see Vision wearing a suit with a tie around his neck. While this might seem like nothing, there is a diamond pattern on the tie, which is reminiscent of the character of Vision in Marvel Comics and his business attire. In the comics, the character was written by Tom King and illustrated by artist Gabriel Hernandez. However, there really isn't any special or hidden meaning to the tie. Its only significance is the fact that it ties Vision to the original comic character. Is Agnes a potential Marvel villain? On the show, Agnes is a nosy neighbor and is played by Kathryn Hahn. However, it appears there might be more to her character. Let's go back to where it all started. Marvel Comics. In the comics, Wanda has a neighbor named Agatha Harkness. Whilst there isn't an Agatha on the show, Redditors have pointed out that Agnes might in fact be Agatha Harkness. According to them, if you squish the name Agatha and Harkness, you get Agnes. This might seem a little far-fetched, but there is another reason to connect Agnes to Agatha in the comics. In the Scarlet Witch comics, Agatha is always wearing a brooch. Interestingly, Agnes in WandaVision wears a brooch all the time. In the comics, Agatha is a witch who trains Wanda. Also, because Vision is an android, he is unable to naturally impregnate Wanda. But Agnes helps Wanda get her pregnant. We really don't know if Wanda will get pregnant on the show, but there have been several references to children since the first episode. If it happens, there should be an explanation as to how an android is able to impregnate a woman. Furthermore, in the comics, the relationship of Agatha Harkness and Wanda does not end on a positive note. Is Agnes the next Marvel villain? We'd have to wait and see. The Stark Industries toaster. As you already know, each episode of the show is broken by a fake commercial, which typically contains an Easter egg. In the first episode, a commercial of a man and a woman comes up. In the commercial, they are advertising a toaster which was made by Stark Industries. We see the toaster emit a continuous beeping noise, and a red light flashes when the toast is ready. A bit strange, right? The toaster could mean several things, but one of the most common theories suggests that the commercial was used to imply that Wanda has ambivalent feelings towards Stark. This is not surprising considering the fact that they haven't really gotten along with each other. Stark once attacked Wanda and her brother and is responsible for building Ultron, which almost destroyed the entire world. You would also remember that he put Wanda under house arrest because he believed that she had no control over her powers. To make things even more interesting, Stark created her lover, Vision. Could this mean that the toaster somehow represents Vision? Is this some sort of a metaphor we will understand better in subsequent episodes? Maybe, maybe not. The wine bottle in the dinner party. Of course you remember the disastrous dinner party in the first episode. Wanda and her boyfriend Vision serve a French bottle of wine known as the Maison de Mépris, a French term which translates to House of Contempt. However, if we choose to be very loose with the translation, this could mean House of Misery. Also, etched on the bottle of the wine is a large M, initiating a strong connection to the House of M. In House of M, Wanda accidentally murders a number of Avengers, and this includes Vision. This affects her so badly that she becomes delusional, thinking she has twin boys with Vision. But Magneto from X-Men wouldn't allow this delusional behavior. He told her that the babies are not real, but Wanda Wanda wouldn't accept this. She then used her mind control powers to make the entire world believe that we are in fact living in an alternate reality in which her babies exist. Even though there is no solid proof yet, WandaVision appears to be loosely based on the House of M comics. We also don't know how exactly the show will be connected to the series. The helicopter in episode 2 with the sword symbol. In the second episode of the show, Wanda still appears to exist in a black and white world. However, in the second episode, we witness a colorful helicopter, which could signify that someone was trying to break into the world of fantasy that Wanda created. However, to properly understand the significance of this helicopter, we have to know about Sword and S.H.I.E.L.D. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, S.H.I.E.L.D. is the anti-terrorist organization that started the Avengers Initiative. Run by Nick Fury, S.H.I.E.L.D. gave orders to the Avengers and made sure that they all worked towards the same goal. Unfortunately, a Nazi group called Hydra infiltrated the once invisible organization and caused S.H.I.E.L.D. to cease to exist. But this does not faze Nick Fury. He tries to start a similar organization which would respond to supernatural threats and powerful threats. In the MCU, there's nothing yet, but based on the comics, we believe that the new initiative will be called SWORD. Now, back to the show. The helicopter that Wanda picks up to examine has a picture of a sword on its side. It is only logical to assume that this is the symbol of the anti-terrorist organization that will be formed by Nick Fury. The connection? We'd have to wait and see. Who is Monica Rambeau? In the second episode of the show, Wanda makes a new friend who introduces herself as Geraldine and is played by Teyonah Parris. However, IMDb shows that Parris is actually playing the role of Monica Rambeau on the show. If you watched Captain Marvel, then that name should ring a bell. Monica Rambeau is the daughter of Maria Rambeau, the best friend of Captain Marvel. You probably remember her as the adorable little girl in the movie. Captain Marvel was set in the 1990s, while WandaVision is set in present day, after the events of Endgame. And this gives Monica Rambeau enough time to be all grown up. Monica might be an agent of SWORD, or just someone who really wants to help Wanda. With a godmother like Captain Marvel, she would surely have some skills up her sleeves. It would be really weird if Monica ended up being evil. So it only makes sense that she gave Wanda a fake name because she wants to help her. Also, the first time they met, Monica says, "I don't know what I am doing here." This could mean that she was sucked into the fantasy of Wanda by mistake or is on a mission to help Wanda. She will appear in later episodes and we will understand her position later. Jimmy Woo on the radio. After a talent show meeting in the second episode, Wanda begins cleaning up and a song comes on the radio. The song is Help Me Rhonda, which sounds so much like Help Me Wanda. After a moment, a static voice interrupts the song and says, "Who is doing this to you?" Fans familiar with the MCU will immediately recognize this as the voice of Agent Jimmy Woo, the agent in Ant-Man and the Wasp who made sure that Ant-Man didn't violate the terms of his parole. His voice coming on the radio could mean that he now works for SWORD and is trying to reach Wanda. A commercial for Hydra Watch. There is a second commercial with the same man and woman from the first, and this time they are advertising a watch called a Strucker. On the watch is the Hydra octopus symbol. You would remember that the name of the Hydra leader who experimented on Wanda and her brother was Wolfgang von Strucker. He tortured the siblings with the Mind Stone until they gained superpowers. Strucker was killed by Ultron, so there is very little chance that he is the one hurting Wanda. But this could mean that Hydra is the one torturing Wanda in some crazy way, or they have figured out a way to trap her in her own mind. Alternatively, it could also mean that Wanda is being haunted by her past. It could mean that she is trying so hard to suppress the memories of her time in Hydra, but the harder she tries, the worse it becomes. The ticking of the clock in the commercial could mean that Hydra is coming for her, or her time in her fantastical world would soon be over. A reference to Bova. The animated opening of WandaVision does two really interesting things. It gives us a throwback to the animated Bewitched opening and references the childhood of Wanda. We see Wanda go grocery shopping, and behind her is a poster for Bova milk. In the Marvel commercials, Bova is both a cow and a midwife, and she helped deliver Wanda and her brother Pietro. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes of the show, you are missing out on a lot. If you do discover more Easter eggs, do not hesitate to share. And with that, we wrap up this video. Thanks for watching.